There is nothing more dangerous than a person with hope. The middle class is starting to disappear, and the elites are having all of the wealth, hoarding all of the wealth to themselves. Meanwhile, everybody else is just a peasant. This is not a mistake. This is systematically engineered to keep you working, to keep you poor, and to keep you helpless the rest of your life. Consistency will beat out talent every single time. I mean, everywhere you go, there's a headline. I used to be one of those people who would just bury my head under the sand, never pay attention. I never read newspapers. I never watched the news. I mean, I would always see my dad watching the news, yelling at the screen, and wonder, why is this man subjecting himself to all this suffering by exposing himself to sensationalized media? There is so much chaos going on in the world constantly. It's always been this way. But the moment you give yourself or your flesh the desire to start consuming and learning about worldly things, you will get so caught up and so in the world that you will start to lose your faith. See, right now, one of the highest searches is feeling helpless. A lot of people are feeling helpless, not just because of the politics, not just because of, the election. It's just systematically, as a people, the systems are broken according to us. However, the people at the very top know that it's broken, but it benefits them, so they don't really care. And in fact, to us, it looks broken, but it's meant to be that way. And so, as much as this makes me upset, I also caught myself like just spiraling so much over the last week, and I realized that wasn't productive. It's not productive to spiral. So what is productive? Okay, well, what is productive? I thought about that. And I noticed that every single time I put my focus back on God, I felt a sense of peace. Regardless of what is happening around me, I started to feel peace again. And it's like there's so many things just like grabbing for our attention, trying to make us like headline after headline after headline. The fact that we were exposed to so many headlines all at once, now I understand why people get so hooked to the news. Now I understand why people get so hooked to reading the newspaper. This is just another way to keep the people feeling helpless. It's this term called learned helplessness. But the thing is, there are so many Americans that are feeling this way right now. Why do you think they want us to feel helpless? Well, we are very powerful in numbers. If we all actually got together and started to just like focus and lock in on the things that would create more freedom, we wouldn't feel so helpless. I truly believe the only thing that's going to keep us from falling through this system as another number or person or casualty or whatever you want to call it is by thinking outside of the box. And one of those things is by becoming an entrepreneur and starting to move your business to the digital space. For some people, it's social media. For other people, it's going to be some type of e-commerce. For some people, it's trading. But you need to be able to have the means at which you make money be something that you can take with you anywhere at any time. Right now, YouTube is pushing out small creators. As nobody says it, but YouTube is the highest paying platform out of all of the social media platforms. YouTube is where the money is at. I believe that everything that's happening in the world is just a ploy to steal all of your hope. All of your hope. Because there is nothing more dangerous than a person with hope. This stuff that's happening in the world, the things that are happening in our political climate, just all of these things, all of the oppression that is happening systematically, it's made that way so that we can start developing a learned helplessness. Once you start to realize that the elites have been playing these mind games with us from the beginning and also training us to fall into the system, to fall in line, but the house that was built on a super fragile bit of sticks is starting to fall apart. Not because people at the top aren't making money, they're doing good. Their pockets are fat, their pockets are full. What's happening is that people that are middle class are starting to become low income. The middle class is starting to disappear. Okay, this is different right now, systematically. The middle class is starting to disappear, and the elites are having all of the wealth, hoarding all of the wealth to themselves. Meanwhile, everybody else is just a peasant. This is not a mistake. This is systematically engineered to keep you working, to keep you poor, and to keep you helpless. Because the systems are designed to keep you reliant on them so that you won't be able to learn how to do anything. So, what you can do is you need to start learning how to do skills. You need to start accumulating as many skills as you can right now that will generate income for you. A lot of people are using social media. That's why you see a lot of people flocking to YouTube. People are getting to the point where they can no longer afford their daily living off of just having one job. Some people are taking 2 or 3 jobs just to make ends meet. Some people have 2 or 3 jobs and are still homeless because the minimum wage isn't enough. That's why we need to start actually figuring out what skills can I monetize. This is the year that you need to figure out what skills am I going to take that can help generate some income for me. And this needs to be a skill that can be less work for more pay. They do not teach us this in school. And the reason why they do not teach you this in school is because they want you to do the time for money scheme. If you can trade your time for money for the rest of your life, you will be working the rest of your life. But if you do what every rich person ever does, on a smaller scale, okay, we don't want to be greedy. We want to have just enough, but we want to be able to have time for our friends, for our family, for our hobbies, for raising little pets, for being happy, 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 happy. Then you need to find a job that allows you to have a little bit more real life, like work-life balance. But they're going to tell you that that's lazy. I'm here to let you know that's not lazy. That's actually smart. Every smart person in this world understands this. That's why entrepreneurship is one of the it's essentially the foundation to freedom is learning how to run your own business. Not that working for someone isn't smart. Working for someone can be smart, but it shouldn't be your long-term goal. You should always plan to have something for yourself, at least on the side or at least parallel to. It's a blessing to have a job. You want to keep your job because the job market is scarce. People are being laid off, people are being fired. So if you have a good job, do not quit your job. But take the money that you are getting from that job, set a little bit aside, and use that to help you generate some type of income that doesn't require you to trade your time for money. Systematically, they want us to think that we have no other option than to trade our time for money. But this isn't the case. Some examples of stuff that you can do to start kind of going off in this direction. A lot of people are taking themselves onto YouTube and learning a skill. If there is a skill that you know in your gut you'd be amazing at, it's time to get on YouTube and it's time to start learning that skill. If there is a social media account that you've been wanting to start running, you better start dedicating a couple hours after work to start working towards that and actually implement a strategy. If there is a business that you've been wanting to start, it is time to start working on that right now. Consistency is the name of the game. Consistency will beat out talent every single time. They want to keep you feeling like you can't do anything. But I'm here to remind you that you're not helpless, and you can. I pray this brings you peace. And even though there's so much chaos going on in the world right now, so much, you still need to lock in regardless. And I'll leave you with this. If you're wondering what you should be working on, I'm telling you right now, everything that I have is all glory to God. I may not have much, but God has been gracious with me. All of my skills, everything that I've ever learned, everything that I know about what I'm doing, I've learned simply because God has helped me step out in faith to do it. There's been many times I have no idea what I'm doing. Currently, right now, I have no idea how to run a YouTube channel. But I said, God, I'm going to have faith and I'm just going to do it. I'm going to have strategy while doing it, but I'm going to operate in faith and I'm going to do it, hoping that something will come from it. YouTube is an evergreen platform. If you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel, there's no better time than now to start working on that. Parallel, you can do this parallel to having a job. Absolutely, you can. You just have to really lock in and do it. All glory to God for everything that I do have. I have more than enough. I know people who are worse off than me. I went from nothing to having a job that pays, and I live on my own in the most aggressive state of the economy. Am I doing as good as I was a couple years ago? No. I'm praying that my boss will have mercy on me and give me a raise at some point. But I also can't wait around for her to see the value in me. I can't wait around for her to give me a handout. I'm not lazy, but I'm going to find a way to systemize how to generate another source of income. And for me, I know my skills are geared toward social media. My skills are geared in the direction of speaking. My skills are geared in the direction of creating content and organizing and creating a social media presence. I'm going to use those skills that I have used on other platforms and transfer them over to the most profitable platform, which is YouTube. That's my plan. What's your plan? Drop it in the comments. I want to hear all about your plan. No, we are not helpless. We can unlearn this state of thought. You are not helpless. We can do this, you guys. The way that we're living here, it is not normal. But there's a way out. You have to start believing in your ability to outsmart the system. We have to play their game. So let's do it. I'll see you guys in the next video.